Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Haajira. Sorry, excuse me. I left Highcrest 10 years ago this year, which is a little bit scary, but it is what it is, and it
Yeah.
makes me feel very, very old. Um, but yeah, so Highcrest 10 years ago. I work full time now, so I work as an RFP specialist for an asset manager, so in an investment firm, so finance. Yeah, and that's me really.
That's a lot. That's not just you, that's a lot. Right, I'm going to take you back in time.
Mhm.
So, what was it like when you first sort of joined Highcrest? How was it?
It was a bit scary,
Yeah, it's a big place.
as it is, but honestly, so I'm not going to say what year I joined. I'm going to let everyone try and figure that out for themselves because it was a very, very long time ago. But it was scary because I was a very quiet kid. Um, I was sort of like always like sort of nervous in these situations, and I thought,
Mm.
oh my God, how am I going to make friends? How am I not going to get lost? I mean, I did get lost a few times, but it's fine. It happens to everyone. Other year 11's going to be scary, other sixth formers going to be
Yeah.
scary, and you know what? They were a little bit, but it was fine because most of the time they don't even care about you. They're just like too busy worried about whatever GCSEs or A levels, and they don't care. You're just
Just, oh,
living.
mm.
They're not that worried about you. Um, but yeah, so when I joined year seven, I was like, I think there were three or four people from my primary school going in. So I was like completely alone compared to some of my friends who had loads of people coming over.
Yes.
But the induction day did help because it was nice to see, familiar faces. And, I think, yeah, it's scary. But even though as hard as it is, to think it is, but like everyone else is in the same situation as you, but they're just not showing you. So like fake it till you make it, right?
Yes, that's how life works. So, did you have any sort of career ideas, or were you just sort of like, all right, this is just seeing how life goes?
I mean, I still don't know what I want to do. Uh, it's not
Brilliant.
every, there's always going to be like one person who's gonna be like, yeah, I want to be like, I don't know, a pilot or a doctor or whatever.
Mm.
But I had no clue. I think at some point in year seven, I wanted to go to like Cambridge or Oxford. That was like high expectations for myself. Um, but I had no clue what I wanted to do. I just knew, I wanted to work, I wanted to do something, and I've just sort of fallen into my role. But
Yeah.
like everyone else I speak to, everyone I work with now, everyone I worked with before, it's the same pretty much for everyone.
As I've said quite a few times before, I think there's to be fair, a couple of generations between us. And I think your generation is much more fluid. I think you do ebb and
Mhm,
flow. I think you do find different things out
mhm,
and have the job market allows you to change a lot
mhm,
easier than it ever used to, which I
mhm,
think is brilliant because we all change. We're never going to be the same people. And it's brilliant if somebody stays in the same job for years, but
mhm,
also it's also brilliant if you move around.
mhm. No, yeah, no, I agree because when I was in school and stuff, so my parents or whoever, they always had the same job. So I
Mm,
thought in my mind, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have to like stick to a job, I don't know, be a pilot and have to be the pilot for the rest of my life, for example.
mm.
But it's not like that at all. It's like, so when I graduated, so I went to uni, but I can go into that later. I was working in marketing for 3 years for like a very small firm. And then I saw a job um, I saw a job and it was like in investment. And I was like, oh, I don't really know what this is, but I'll apply to it. I applied and I got it. And I've just sort of been in the industry ever since. So it's not, you don't have to stick, you can change up because a lot of the skills you use, they're applicable everywhere. And when I look at some of the people in the company I work at who make a lot of money,
Yeah.
actually, all of their background is in history or political science or something like that.
Yes.
And now they're in finance. So you can change. It doesn't matter what you do at the
Doesn't
beginning.
matter. Mm.
Tomorrow, I could change my mind and do something else. And that's completely acceptable. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So, what GCSEs did you choose?
So I was thinking about this last night because I was like,
Mm.
I need to take a step back. So I did history,
Yeah,
art, French, and there's four, right? French and IT.
really good mix.
Yeah. So history because I love history, art because I love art. I still paint all the time. Um, and then French because, well, why not? And
Yep.
then IT as well. Yeah, why not? I mean, French, I'm really good at. I can still understand French, like a whole conversation in French. I just can't speak it,
Mm,
which is probably more on me than my wonderful
mm.
teacher back then. But it was a good mix, and it was just something to sort of change things up and not pick what I felt like I needed for my future, but I thought they'd be boring. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather do what I enjoy doing.
I think that's the key. I think there's a lot of people in year nine must be thinking, right,
Mhm,
okay, what do I need more than what
mhm,
do I enjoy?
mhm. Yeah, no,
And
I would not recommend that because at the end of the day, like I said, everyone does whatever they want and they still, when you do
yeah.
whatever you want, you can still change things
Mm.
up that it doesn't matter. There's no like direct sort of correlation.
So how did you move into A levels?
So I actually stayed at High Crest for sixth form.
Mm,
So I had a sort of difficult year in year 11, so I didn't do as well as my GCSEs as I, expected to. Um, and also, I would say that going to your teachers when something's going on in your personal life is very important because I didn't do it. I
mm,
had a bereavement the night before my art exam, did not tell my teacher, just went through it. And obviously, because of everything going on, I was slower than I would usually. And then I told her after 6 months, and honestly, she was so mad at me. She's like, "Why did you not tell me? We could have helped you." So
they
going,
can always
yeah,
help and
every
support.
yeah. So we had, a couple of things going in my personal life, didn't try and get the support I needed, or you know, yeah. So didn't do as well. So then I was like, oh my god, what do I want to do? So initially, I wanted to do business maths, and they were all very business related
Mm.
subjects because I wanted to do accounting and finance. So I sat down with Miss Bowden, who I'm not sure if she's still there. She's still there?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't. I don't. I had a feel. I sort of heard she left, and she said, "Well, you could do this, or you could choose a BTEC, a level three, and decide to do that." And at that point, I remember everyone was like, "Oh, BTEC's like this, BTEC's like that. It's not even a real subject,"
Oh,
which I think sometimes still is a thing. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So I was looking at colleges and stuff, but then I sat down, I looked at the syllabus, and I was like, "You know what? I'll do it." So I did business and IT. So business was so it was classed as two subjects, and then
mm.
IT as one. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. So I think because there's not that pressure of sitting an exam and everything's, I think they've changed now. So I think they've got exams in
Yes,
level
but
threes as well, don't they? Yeah.
yeah.
But it's not fully reliant
No,
on
and I
on that.
really like BTECs,
Hmm.
really like them. I think if you're not so steady in
Hmm.
exams and such,
Yeah.
but you are willing to really work hard because they're not easy,
Yeah.
but they're a really good qualification.
Yeah. No, I
And
agree. And we were doing the same thing that the business A level were doing. We were
mm,
doing more advanced stuff than them. And when we were talking about stuff, they had no clue what we were on about. So, it was good.
no, and most universities do count them. In
Oh,
fact, I would
yeah,
say
no,
a whole
nearly everyone accepts them now.
yes, and I think they're
Mm.
brilliant. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree.
so once you got your A levels and BTEC under way, what was the next step for you?
So for me, it was uni. I'd always dreamed of going to University of Reading and doing
Mhm.
accounting and finance. That was sort of my, that was my Cambridge. We
Yeah.
we we moved on from Cambridge from year seven and gone to Reading, and I got in. So there was obviously I was nervous because, like you said, I wasn't sure if they would accept me because I'm doing a level three,
Yeah,
but they did. And I got through. So if I remember correctly, I got into all my unis.
that's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah, so I did. I was really shocked because I was like, whoa, you know, they want me. So yeah, I started at Reading the next year, and it was scary. It was like going back to year seven because obviously I'd been at Highcrest my whole life, pretty
Yes.
much, and then going into this new world. And it was, yeah, it was a bit scary. and I went there. Well, this is where what everything you plan, it doesn't always go to plan. So when I was there, I realized accounting and finance is not what I want to do.
Oh,
Yeah. So obviously, this is why I said you can always choose and always do what you want. Don't do what you think you want.
yeah.
Um, so it was boring, basically. That's what that's what I found. It was boring. And obviously we touched on like modules in business,
Yeah.
but when I got into it, like, and I picked the worst subjects. I picked audit and like all this
Oh,
boring stuff. Um, and I got to the end of the year and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
yeah.
So I sat down with my parents and they were like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to a different uni or do you want to start over? What? And then I made the decision to start over and I came down
Wow.
to Bucks and I did marketing for the next 3 years. And honestly, that was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
That's brilliant. And I've noticed actually a few people have
Mhm.
changed that direction really quick. And I
Yeah.
think it's such a brave but brilliant thing to do
Mhm.
because you sometimes you feel you're stuck somewhere,
Mhm. Yeah.
but actually to step out is fantastic. And actually for to know other people have done it as well doesn't makes it feel that bit better.
Mhm.
So you're now on your marketing journey.
Yeah. So I went to Bucks and I know there was I would say it's a misconception about Bucks, which a lot of people had when I was into like sort of sixth and around that age where they were like, oh, Bucks is a uni, the last choice uni where no one really wants to go. It's just there.
Yeah.
And I think that's just poor Bucks because it's literally just because you're down the road. That's what everyone thinks that.
Yes.
But genuinely, it was actually amazing. So Bucks, I'm sure still is a smaller uni, so that means you're actually talking more to your tutors, you're talking more
Yep.
to everyone around you, which I found really comfortable. It's more of a personal like connection.
Mm.
While at Reading didn't really have that because there's literally hundreds and hundreds of you. So I spent the next 3 years there, really enjoyed it. So with marketing, I still had the option of going into sort of like, looking at accounting and finance, looking at different modules, but I knew it was creative, but still sort of businessy. So I had a bit of everything.
Yeah. I think I think Bucks is a good uni, especially if you now with obviously with having to pay for
Mhm.
university, it gives you that flexibility of actually working through uni then to keep
Yeah.
your bits all together. And it's living away from home at uni is amazing. It is completely immersive in
Mhm.
that sense, but
Yeah.
actually you can make your own way forward with just a
No, I
local
agree.
university.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think people always think, oh, uni, you have to live out, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Mm.
It's not like that for everyone. Someone like me, I was really quiet back then, and I didn't want to live out, or I didn't want to be, that person. I didn't, go out drinking and partying and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
completely acceptable. And the workings that I used to work in House of Fraser, like once a week, I used to go there, do my job, come back, and it's a great way to just sort of like earn money. You're not sort of stuck in that studying environment,
Yeah.
um, and you're still sort of making money is probably the most important thing at that point, I think.
And it's actually for some people. So when you came out of uni, what was your
Mhm.
next step? The big
Um,
wide world.
so scary because everyone's sort of in the same position as you when you leave.
Yeah.
Everyone's panicking, oh, job, job, job. So I was very fortunate I came across so at Bucks, one of the lecturers used to do like sort of if he saw something happening, like an internship or something like that, he used to send out an email, just to let everyone know that this was
Yeah.
sort of around. So through that, I actually got two internships. So one at Children Rangers. Um, so that was sort of like a very early years in uni for like a couple of months. And the second one was an internship for a marketing company up in Amersham.
All right.
So that was sort of in July of the year that I graduated.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I just started working there, and it was cool. So there was four of us in the company, so it's a small company. And it was creating marketing campaigns for pet owners on behalf of like pharmaceuticals, going through the sort of the through vets. Um, and yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great. It was sort of it was difficult.
Mm.
I'll admit that because I think no one prepares you for it, and I think you need to be prepared when you go from uni or school to working full time. It's a different world because that I was so used to being flexible and doing being here, there, and everywhere, and then you're stuck sort of. You're not stuck. That's the wrong word. You're in a 9 to 5, but it's just a way of life, and everyone feels like that.
Yes, and that's what we run a work experience program for year 10, and that's the whole thing, is
Hmm.
just to see what the different world is like.
Yeah.
And it's your chance to have that
Hmm.
glimpse and then find out where you might fit in there.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I agree, and I would say that after COVID, it's not like that. It's a lot more flexible now, which is a
Yeah.
big thing. And I'm actually experiencing that right now, but I'm in a flexible role. But obviously, I started pre-COVID, and then COVID hit a couple months in
Mm.
to my internship, which I think about 6 months, and they were like, "We're going to keep you forever."
Yeah.
So I stayed there. So when COVID happened, it was a bit, you know, like obviously everyone at school they were a lot younger when it happened, but when you're working for the first time, you're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And, working from home and trying to adapt,
Yeah.
um, it was difficult, but, we sort of got through it.
Yes, I think
Mm.
COVID changed a lot of things for businesses,
Yeah. Hmm.
and also brought in a much stronger, flexible working
Yeah.
pattern,
Hmm.
which take us back 10 years ago, wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. Hmm. No, I agree. Even like at my first job, it was very strict 9 to 5, 9 to
Mm.
5, 9 to 5. Um, but yes, I was there for 3 years, so through
Hmm.
COVID and throughout. And then I made the decision to start applying to other jobs. Um, and there was one reason for it, and that's the same reason I always have is that when I feel that I know what I'm doing and I'm 100% comfortable, it's time
Yeah.
to move on. Because when you stop learning, that's it. You're
You're
bored.
really
You're done.
brave.
It's very scary, but yeah. So I started applying to jobs, and I didn't know what I wanted to do still. I had solid experience for 3 years, doing a lot of different things, Excel work,
Mm.
campaigns, and so on. And then I saw a job at um, an asset manager. So they're based in Henley, so down the
Hmm.
road,
Yeah.
basically, um, for an RFP role. And I'm going to be 100% honest, I had no idea what RFP is. Didn't even really know what they do. So RFP stands for request for proposal.
Yeah.
And essentially, when a client wants to give their money to this company, they're going to ask lots of questions before giving over millions and billions of pounds.
Yeah.
And it's my job in RFP to answer those questions. Um, so I started working for this firm. Um, no clue what was happening. No clue what any of the words meant. And yeah, literally no. But I admitted that straight off. I don't really
Yeah.
know. And everyone was pretty chill and everyone was open. Everyone was like, okay, that's cool. You can learn. It's fine. We'll help you. We'll teach you. Um, and yeah, I excel. Well, I think I excelled. I did very,
I'm sure you
very
do.
yeah. I'm hoping I did. Um, and yeah, I was stuck basically. So I enjoyed the commute.
Hmm.
So it's obviously a 40-minute drive down to Henley, depending on the timing. Flexible working, another thing.
Yes.
So I actually started and still do. I start at 8 o'clock and finish at 4 o'clock. Um, and I have the flexibility if something happens, like, you know, if I need to get to an appointment, if I need to do this, if I need to do that, I can change that. I can adapt and change that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's which is very important. It's no longer that strict 9 to 5. That's it. You're done.
And nothing like school level was, where you're in and you're out. So it's a longer day, but actually you've got control over it. I think it's quite
Yeah.
nice that
Hmm.
you all of a sudden you have control
Hmm.
over your working time, as
Yeah.
long as you always complete. what you're required to do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the most important thing. If you do what you have to do, and they know that, you're okay. There's that level of flexibility. And also, I enjoyed it so much when it was more sort of they're working from home as well. And it's not strict. There's not, you have to go in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, stay at home Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
It's flexible. You can do what works for you, what works for your team.
Yeah, I think that's a real big change, a
Mhm.
really, really big change of the working environment. But I think it really suits a lot more people
Mhm.
than it used to be.
Yeah,
So if I was to take you back,
Mhm.
what piece of advice would you give yourself when you sort of started your GCSEs, knowing what you know now?
I would say don't worry, but I think that's very, very hard.
Yeah.
I think I would say it's gonna, you'll figure it out. If you like me, I didn't do as well as my GCSEs as I wanted, and I was like panicking, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm a failure, and
Mhm.
because your brain naturally, you do go to like an extreme.
Yeah.
You know, I still do it sometimes now. I catastrophize everything, but there's always people around you to help you. And that's one thing I didn't do in school. I didn't, take advantage of my teachers, you know,
Mm.
careers. Like, we had Miss Palmer, who was amazing, and I didn't take as much advantage of her as I should have. Um, so, and people like yourself, there are who are around and they're there, and I should have done that more.
Yes, and I think you think that you can, I can do this, I'd be all right with
Mhm.
this. And also you're sometimes you're so concerned with your learning as you should be
Yeah.
that the other bits don't come along.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, it sounds like you've done fantastic, and I really admire your ability to change and go into uncomfortable positions.
Thank you. No, I did it early on this year. I changed job roles.
Yeah,
So it's still within the same, title, but I changed jobs, and it was very scary because I went from a particular type of fund to a completely different type. I work in London now, so commute, everything. It's a big decision to make, but if you think it's the right thing you do, you have to just listen to your gut and sort of, yeah, go there.
yes, you are right, but I still think it's impressive. Thank you so much for your
No worries.
time.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure.